Welcome back to the Kiwi Wedding Podcast. My name is Lydia. I'm your host and an Auckland wedding photographer at Lydia Rachel Photography. Today, I'm so excited to share this episode with Johanna, who takes us behind the scenes of her beautiful wedding day at Church Road Winery. Johanna opens up about everything from how she and Jose met to how they planned with overseas guests in mind, chose their venue, stuck to their priorities, and her incredible tips for staying organised and stress-free during wedding planning. She was definitely one of those A-type brides, as she admits, and she created her own wedding day binder. So this is not just like a wedding book planner kind of thing. It is a really helpful resource for creating checklists and noting down everything that you need to communicate to everybody involved in your wedding and pass on to the people that are helping on the day. And you can actually purchase this for yourself, which is really amazing. I'll link it all in the show notes, and she's kindly offered a discount code just for listeners. So use the code The Kiwi Wedding Podcast to get 15% off. Johanna has been a content creator for a while now, and she has shared so many great wedding tips along the way. So definitely go and check out her Instagram and TikTok too. She's also recently launched a new venture as a wedding content creator. We recorded this a little while ago, pre-honeymoon, and she hadn't quite launched it yet, so we didn't talk about it, but I wanted to mention that here. She is based in the Hawke's Bay, and if you're looking for someone to capture content on your wedding day, definitely go and check her out, give her a follow. She's on Instagram at likehoney.stories and some really beautiful work there. This episode is full of amazing advice. I know you're going to love it. So let's get right into it. Enjoy episode 102 with Johanna. Hi, Johanna. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. So excited to chat all about your wedding.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on here because I've been listening to your podcast as a bride-to-be, so really excited.
So good. I've been loving seeing all the content you've been posting about your wedding, so excited to pick your brains. But yeah, to get started with, if we could just kind of go back and you could tell us the story of how you and your husband met and what your lives are like. Have been like together.
Yeah, so actually really unromantic, like not romantic at all, because we matched on Tinder.
Nice.
Yeah.
Majority of people these days.
Yeah. So that was 4 years ago, like 2021. Yeah. And yeah, so we started dating then, and that was in start of the year 2021, and then kind of was really clear after like a few dates that we really liked each other, and then kind of from February onwards, actually funny, our first kiss was on February the 21st, and we got married unintentionally on February the 21st, which I just realized later, and I was like, cute, yeah.
So you, met then, dated for a while, and then got engaged. Can you tell us a bit about your proposal story?
So we got engaged in October 2023. I'm from Germany, so I moved 6 years ago, and in June 2023 or May 2023 was the first time I went back to Germany because of everything that happened in the world, like, like lockdown and stuff. And that was actually that was the second time he met my family because they came over before. But we went to Europe, we traveled around, and Jules actually asked my dad for like if he can marry me in German, which I think means so much to me. And I think a lot of people thought it would happen while we are in Europe, like the proposal. But yeah, we came back to New Zealand, and then in October he proposed. And actually in between, when I would call my parents, they told me they were always thinking I would tell them I got engaged because they already knew. But yeah, in October, we actually spent a day at the beach. I remember it was like a really sunny day, and we decided like the week before that we're gonna have like a beach day together, and we drove to our local favorite beach, and we just had like a really chill day playing cards and stuff. But I was actually a little bit how do you say, like suspicious, because usually I'm the one that packs the bag and like takes a backpack, or like one backpack for both of us. And he was like, oh no, maybe I take a backpack as well, which I found a bit weird, but I don't know, I didn't want to think too much about it. But it turned out he put the ring in there because he didn't want to obviously put it in the bag that I would look into, like see it, or in his pocket, because yeah, the ring box is too big. So yeah, we were at the beach, and then I actually also took my drone because I recently, or like I haven't used it in a while, and I really wanted to get some more drone footage. And he was like, "Oh, it's such a beautiful day. You should take your drone." And then at some point he was like, "Oh, there's no one around. You should put your drone up." And I kind of, so I filmed my own proposal. Like I didn't know, but I put the drone up, and he came. Walked next to me, and then yeah, he proposed. So yeah, it felt so unreal. So yeah, it's really nice. Yeah,
So
yeah, I was
sweet.
like,
Yeah.
good work. Because it's so cool to look back at it. So yeah.
Oh, so nice. Such a special story. And had you been one of those girls that kind of dreamed about your wedding? Did you have a vision in mind for what you wanted?
Yeah, so of course I already had like a Pinterest board. I had one for like dresses, or like some inspo, and one with a little bit of inspo for the wedding. But actually, Jules made like a quite big decision that kind of helped, honestly helped so much, because I was a bit overwhelmed. There was so much inspo and so many things I liked, that I was so glad that he kind of took that decision. So he said he really likes the dried flowers. So like pampa, toy toy. And I was like, oh, perfect. Okay, we go with that. That kind of led to like a rustical look. We kind of really like the rustical but still elegant feeling. So that's kind of what we decided to go for then. So dried flowers and rust orange, brown colors, kind of. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And did you look at a few different venues? Did you know what you kind of wanted there?
Yeah, so I straight away, so we got engaged in October, and we knew we're not going to get married until not the January after. So like got engaged 2023, and we're thinking of January or February 2025. But I said to Jules, okay, we have to start looking at venues, because that's like the main season people want to get married. We just want to have a kind of something to choose from. So I booked us in for different venues. And actually, the venue we ended up going with is the one we looked at last, and that's like the venue is only like 5 minutes from where we live. I think that's why I didn't really, yeah, I didn't really think about it at the start, because it was so close. I don't know why, but I thought, oh, I look a bit further out, or like I don't know. But I'm so glad we had a look at that venue, because it matched our vision 100%. And something we realized only after we had looked at a few venues and got all the packages, the wedding packages are all different. So we kind of had to kind of compare them, but they were all like, had like, it's not that you can just put them next to each other. You really had to think, okay, this includes that. And something that we realized after looking at venues was important for us, was that it had a wet weather option. Something we didn't really think about first, but then we're like, okay, if we go somewhere, we want to make sure there is an option, like nothing that we have to organize last minute. That kind of led us to the place that we went with, which had an outside area, but also if it's gonna rain, we could go inside.
Very
Yeah.
wise to do in New Zealand, because you really can't
Yeah.
plan for the weather any time of year.
Yeah, 100%.
What was the venue you landed on?
We went with Church Road Winery.
Yeah,
So it's
beautiful.
really rustical, beautiful. And outside area is really nice too. So yeah.
And what were the most like important elements, your top priorities when it came to planning your wedding?
Yeah, after we decided on the location. I mean, the location, like one priority was the wet weather option. So that was something that we realized as a priority after some time. And then for Jules, it was food. So he really was like, okay, I would like prefer like a really nice meal and sit down type of dinner. And for me, it was the photographer. I really, yeah, I had that as my priorities. So we had those three priorities.
Oh, so good. It's good to pick a few things that are, yeah, you might invest a little bit more on, save in other areas, but yeah, if that is a guide, yeah. And how about the whole wedding dress process? How did you find that? Did you get your dress made? Did you go shopping? Yeah, what was that like?
So I went up to Auckland for a weekend and tried on some dresses there, and I had like my vision board on Pinterest. Kind of knew what I was looking for, but one thing I recommend for any bride to be is to try on different styles. Like try something that you don't have on your vision board. I had this lovely lady putting something on my hanger or like on my try on, how
Like
do you say,
rail,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Rack.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With some, like, it was strapless and with sleeves to attach, kind of. And I tried that on, and I almost bought that dress, but I myself would have never picked first anything strapless because I just know I'm the type of person that just gets a little bit annoyed or would always pull it up, kind of the dress. But I'm so glad she put that one for me to try on because the sleeves, I really love the sleeves. So I started considering something with sleeves. So then I found like the perfect mix of what was on my vision board plus the sleeves. So yeah, I was really happy once I found my dress. That was like something I haven't had on my vision board first. But then yeah, and it was like a V line at the front. And then I could take the sleeves off. So I had the sleeves on during the ceremony, and then kind of later when we were partying, I could take the sleeves off. So it was kind of two dresses in one, which was kind of cool.
So you just went to that one place. Did you find it there or do you go to a few?
I went to Auckland to those to two places, and then I went to Palmerston North to the bridal studio where I found that dress.
Nice. Oh, so beautiful. And did you have a bridal party? And if so, how was that process choosing them? Did you find that quite easy?
Yeah, although we decided, or I was like, okay, I could maybe have in my mind I was like, okay, five. And then Jules was like, oh no, we do three max because he was like, I don't know. Like guys, I think are just a bit different. He was like, I
Yeah.
don't know who to pick. And then I was like, okay, I can do three. So I went with two of my childhood friends from Germany, and then one friend here from New Zealand that I've known like almost the whole time since I moved to New Zealand. So yeah.
And how about the guest list? Was that tricky to narrow down? I imagine you had a few kind of flying in from overseas as well. But yeah, how did you find that whole process?
Yeah, so I think we started like firstly to write down family, and then our friends, and we kind of made kind of the rule if we haven't seen or caught up with someone in a year or in 1.5 years, like that's a no. Like
Yeah.
because otherwise, where do you kind of draw the line? And then we also kind of talked about who we haven't met. Like, for example, if I haven't met the person yet, we put them on a list and still decide. Same with like from my side. And I think we had 110 on our list in the end, or 115. But I already knew like some people that were on the list from Germany. I knew they like I wouldn't have expected them, or like in general anyone from Germany, I didn't expect them understood if they couldn't make it because it's quite a big trip, and also financial is quite a big investment depending on where you are in your life. Like I know a lot of my friends start buying houses and stuff like that, so I knew that maybe some wouldn't make it, and I said like, hey, we just come to Germany and we celebrate again, so don't worry. So we ended up having 88 at our wedding. So that was kind of nice size, I would say, like, of guests. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a good number. Still kind of chat to
Yeah.
everyone. It's always interesting to hear thought process behind that because it can be one of the hardest things. But yeah, having that kind of guiding thing, like if we haven't seen them in a year and a half, stuff like that, so helpful.
We also, like, along the planning process, for example, one of my friends started seeing someone and then they became official, and like because we already had done our guest list and numbers, we kind of decided then in the end when we had people like pull out last minute or maybe a couple of months beforehand, and we would let them know, hey, you can bring your partner. um, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think people are sometimes scared to do that or invite people last minute, but I think there's nothing wrong with waiting. Like you have your people that you definitely want, like your immediate family or your best friends, you know, are 100% going to be there, but you can kind of have that sort of backup on the back burner list and invite them later, look at the numbers. Yeah, that's, yeah,
Yeah.
great
And
advice.
I feel like often we overthink, or I really was overthinking that, but I think probably people that get invited there, from what I experienced, are really understanding. For example, the girl that then started seeing someone, and then, I mean, it was still like early stages. They could have, you don't know, like if
Yeah.
they, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but then like I let her know, like I think 2 months out, and she was like, "Oh, that's so amazing." So, I was, yeah,
Most people are stoked to be invited to a wedding, no matter
yeah.
how close it is. Yeah, so good. And yeah, can you tell us a bit about the big day, maybe a little bit leading up to it, and yeah, any highlights or favorite moments?
Yeah, so because I had some friends and family coming from overseas, I really, really was like, I mean, I would say I'm a type A bride. Like, I was really organized and wanted to make sure that I don't have too much to do when family's here, because I knew that I really wanted to soak up the time with friends and family and I didn't want to be too stressed. So I actually made a little plan for myself and wrote down exactly in my calendar what I'm doing the weeks leading up, like blocked some time to do that. And I also created my wedding day binder where I had like the 3 days before the wedding, put some to dos in there. I've wrote down to dos for friends and family. And this is actually a tip that I would give any bride. If someone asks if they can help, don't be afraid to reach out again and ask them, hey, can I take you up on that offer? Because I was kind of the type of person that was like, oh no, it's all good, I can do it. But then I was actually so thankful for family helping. So, for example, my mother-in-law, she offered to sort out the suits for my now husband to go to the dry cleaner, because he asked me if I can look up a dry cleaner and stuff, and I was like, I have so many to do. Like,
Yeah.
so she was really helpful, and I think one tip is just really like accept help. And yeah, so leading up to the wedding, I made like a little list of tasks I can give away, and then in my wedding binder I had like a page for the helpers and who's doing what, and just send it to them via messenger or a PDF. I even had a printed version on the day, so they could just.
So good.
It wasn't heaps to do, but just so they had it all written down and didn't have to text me again, and it was just out of my mind, like down to paper and sent off. So yeah, so that was leading up to the wedding. Felt really organized. We had some last minute, not issues, but something we had to, like, we had to do some more decoration to hide some stuff at the venue because they did some construction work. So
Oh no.
yeah, so that was something. I mean, you can never really plan for that. Something pops up. It is what it is. And so I was quite glad that I had organized so much that I didn't have too much on in the last week, so I could do that. And then one recommendation I would give differently is the day before the wedding to really chill or relaxed. I had my girls here and we got our nails done. We went out for lunch and I was like, okay, there's nothing more I can do anyway. Like, it is what it is. We had the rehearsal, and I think, but yeah, after the rehearsal was when I could really relax. And then just had a chill night. My mum was amazing. She prepped some dinner for us girls, so we just heated that up and we just played some cards and just had a really chill night before the wedding, early bedtime.
Yeah.
um, and yeah, one thing we decided with the budget, for example, is, so I first thought, oh, maybe we book an Airbnb for the night before and the night after the wedding. So the night before I could stay there with my girls, and the night after the wedding with Jules. But we actually then decided, because firstly the venue was just around the corner, so it would be like, it's so handy that we live here, so we could just stay at home. And also the stress, I think, to like make sure you have everything at
Yeah.
the place. So I was actually quite glad that we decided to just stay here because everything was here anyway. So that's kind of also with the costs. We kind of decided, okay, we just save on like any accommodation for the night before and after. And yeah, so I got ready at my place, at our place. Jules went to his brother and got ready there. We didn't spend the night before together, so he already, like, after the rehearsal, I said, okay, goodbye, see you tomorrow at the altar. And yeah, so I had a really cozy morning, which was so nice. So makeup started at 9, and with my wedding day binder, I had like a timeline for the whole day, just so everyone knew when we're like who's getting makeup done when. I also had planned to do coffee pickup, like we did an order so you could pick up the coffee. I also planned, because I really wanted to do like 3 TikToks. This sounds probably
Amazing. No, I
but
love it.
I knew that if I wouldn't write that down, or like I wouldn't think of it, or I'd be like, oh no, it's fine, we don't have to do it. But I put like, I think 15 minutes or 20 minutes for that content in before they started with the makeup. So and that was so easy. It literally took us maybe like 10 minutes or less, and it was just really good. I had the timeline printed so we could just have a look at that, and they, like, I didn't have to think of anything, or that the girls could just look at that and be like, okay, lunch is getting delivered at 12. I ordered some sushi for like to get delivered, because I thought that's just easy. And I also got it recommended because when you have your makeup done, you can just shovel in a sushi.
Yeah.
um,
Perfect.
yeah, I would really recommend to plan or like have a timeline, not for like perfection, more for peace of mind, to just know, okay, we're on time, like everything's on time. And
So good.
yeah.
I think there's people, I've even had people message about the podcast and they're like, oh, it makes me feel bad. All these like brides are so organized. And
Oh.
it can seem really like overwhelming, but I think you have the most like chill, relaxed day because you have done all that organization in advance, and then you're not having a million people coming up to you and asking questions and calling and where do we put this and this and this, and yeah, so no, I love to hear it. Super organized.
100%. So when you say like people calling, yeah, where goes this and this, I actually had that in my wedding binder as well. Like I took photos of the decoration and sent that to the people that would do the decoration setup, so they knew exactly where everything goes. I actually created a discount for the listeners if they want to have a look
Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
wedding binder. It's 15% off, and it's called the Kiwi Wedding Podcast. So you just put that
Amazing.
in, and you can have a look. There's, I think, 100 pages in that wedding binder, um, to stay stress free on your wedding day. So
Yes,
yeah.
such a good resource. We'll definitely share that with everyone and put that in the show notes as well. So cool. And yeah, how did your day carry on from there?
Yeah, so I got my makeup done around 11, so I literally had like just chill time with the girls from like I think I got up at 8 or something. And then my parents actually they actually stayed with us, but for the night before the wedding day I went to an Airbnb for 2 nights. So at around lunchtime they came over and got ready at our place. And I had a first look with my dad. So my dad was actually not allowed really to go into the lounge. He was kind of in his room getting ready. And then had a first look with my dad, which was really special. And my mom was with us girls getting ready, which was, I think, also just really special for her as well as for me. Then it was time to get to the venue. At our ceremony started at 4, so we got there. I think I was actually quite early. My celebrant said you can be fashionably late, but I don't know. We were just all ready, and we're like, okay, we can go to the venue, and then we just wait around there. But then somehow everything went so fast, so I was out there at 4 p.m. on the dot. Although I was like, oh, I could wait like 5 minutes to make everyone be like, oh. But yeah, so it was really, really special. Like, I wish I could just walk down the aisle again because it just goes so quick. Like, it feels like in a dream. And I remember I was just so focused on Jules. Like, I didn't even see the guests, I saw them, but I didn't want to look at them because I knew I would even cry more if I see my friends cry. So I just kept my eyes on Jules. And yeah, something that was really special, I think, or like at our ceremony, because I'm from Germany and I had some friends and family from Germany there. I had one of my bridesmaids doing this ceremony, or like what our celebrant was saying, she was translating it into German. So they took turns in the ceremony. So help my parents are actually really good with understanding English, but just if it's fast or so, yeah,
Beautiful.
That's something. So yeah, and then the ceremony was really beautiful. We were so like blessed with the weather. Like it was really sunny, beautiful during the ceremony. Then after the ceremony, Jules and I, like, that's actually something I think I would also recommend, is just take a few minutes to yourself. So we walked out into like a little room and just had like, it was probably just 2 minutes, which felt way longer, but we were just like, oh my gosh, we just got married. And then like went back out, said hi to the guests, and then mingled a little bit. But then yeah, it was time for family photos. And then it actually started raining, but you wouldn't believe it. I didn't care. Like, like I think at this, you first think like, please don't let it rain. But I just feel so happy that the ceremony, it was beautiful weather. And then we got a few photos done, and then it was actually really nice. With the rain, I could then mingle with the guests more, because otherwise we would have done more photos. And I think that was something I was really worried at the start when I saw the timeline from the venue or the photographer, and I was really worried that I wouldn't have enough time to enjoy my day. I mean, you're a photographer, you know how it is with the timeline.
Yeah,
and I
don't do
talked
too
to
many group photos.
yeah, and I talked to my photographer about it, who's also a friend of mine, which was really special. And she was like, honestly, don't worry too much. The timeline is more for me to know what's happening, so for the photographer. But it was just stressing me a bit at the start, because I was like, I want to mingle with the guests and I want to have enough time. And then with the rain happening, we actually did the photos so quick that I could then, like, because it then really, really, really started raining. So they had like a shelter, and then all the guests were mingling under there and talking, which was really nice. Around just before 6, I think we also did a few photos with the bridal party in between. And one thing I'm so glad we did was a private reception reveal. I saw that popping up on Instagram before, and I was like, oh, Jules, I want to do that. So what we did is, before the guests got seated, Jules and I went into the reception area and just saw the whole setup, like something that I worked on over the last year. Just to see it all coming together was so beautiful and so special. So I'm really glad we did that. And then went back outside and the guests went in, And then it was time, like, then we came in, the bridal party, and we had dinner, the speeches. We did the shoe game, which I think is always quite entertaining. um, and for the speeches as well, because they were all in English, I previously asked my maid of honor if she could sort out, like, if people could send her the speech, and she translated it into German and put it in envelopes for my family and friends to read, just in case they couldn't follow, especially with the Kiwi accent sometimes, or the
Yeah.
slang.
Yeah.
So they could just open the envelopes and follow along. Also for the shoe game, they had the German version there. Then we had the first dance, and then started the party.
Oh, sounds like such an amazing day. So many highlights in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really truly special.
And yeah, did you find anything kind of hard throughout the wedding planning process? What was, yeah, did you have anything that you regret or would have done a little bit differently?
I don't think there's anything that I regret. I think the hardest part was at the start, firstly, where to start, I think, because it's like, yeah, what's the first thing to do?
Overwhelming.
Yeah. And then I think the hardest part was as well, like I said earlier, you get all these different wedding packages, and then just figuring out what is like your priority, and then what package fits best, or like calculating through the packages, kind of.
Yeah, that's such an overwhelming thing with venues, I think, because yeah, it's not like a one size fits all. So I don't know, you almost have to get like a custom quote and figure out what you actually want, how many guests and everything. So, how did you find the whole budget side of things? Did you set a budget? If you're happy to talk about kind of a ballpark figure there, or yeah, anything you did to sort of save?
Yeah, so I had no idea. Like when I like the day I got engaged, I was like looking up Google. Like I asked, "What's the average cost of a wedding?" And it said like 35 to 45,000. So we kind of took that as our budget, I would say, or like try not to go over that. So we kind of, once we knew, for example, with the venue and then going with the catering, how much it is per person, because I had no idea with catering how much to calculate per person. So, and then kind of setting our like max on the guest list, like how many people we say, okay, maximum, that's the, yeah, to just calculate it. So, like I said earlier, our priorities were food, photography, and location. And I'm so thankful that the photographer is one of, or was one of my friends. So, that was really helpful with the budget as well. I think with those priorities, for example, I did also a lot of DIY. For example, the flowers, we only got the bouquets, and the for the groomsmen, the button, as a buttonhole.
Buttonholes, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest was all DIY. So we, Jules actually is a beekeeper, so whenever he was out, he got some, is it toy?
Toy,
Yeah,
yeah.
so kind of collected some toy, like dried them, or they were kind of already dry, and I ordered some decoration online and just looked on Marketplace and did heaps of DIY, which kind of like I've really enjoyed doing that. And yeah, so I would do it again. I'm kind of like, I really like the creative process. So yeah, that's something. So we saved on kind of, I would say, flowers, like, because they can add up,
Can
I
be
guess.
massive, yeah.
Yeah. And what else? The accommodation, probably. Like, I mean, it's not a must, but like the pre and after the wedding accommodation.
So handy if you're getting married locally.
Yeah, and I did all the stationery, or like the, is it station signage myself. Yeah, so
Can definitely get very creative with like Canva and then all the
yeah,
TikTok tutorials and things like,
exactly.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you have the time, then can definitely like do a lot yourself. Yeah.
I feel like wedding planning became my whole personality during
Yeah.
that time.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
definitely everyone has to go and look at your TikTok and reels and stuff.
Oh,
So much good advice in there. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I love how on TikTok you can make it like a playlist. So my wedding playlist is saved, but on Instagram I then edit everything wedding related into my highlights so people can find the post. But yeah, that was actually one of my main resources, I would say, like TikTok and Facebook groups or like social media for the
Yeah,
weddings.
yeah,
Yeah.
so good. And you are yet to go on honeymoon. So yeah, you do like a mini moon straight away, or yeah, what does planning that look like?
Yeah, so we kind of like, I mean, I said we saved on the pre-wedding accommodation and one day after the wedding accommodation, but we kind of then used that actually for our mini moon. So our wedding was on a Friday, and I still had family and friends staying till Sunday or Monday morning. And we went on our mini moon on Monday morning for like 2 nights just to Taupo. And it was really nice because we've been so busy with guests staying and just catching up with them, which I really enjoyed, like really appreciate them being here. But it was just then so nice to just be us two and be like, this was our wedding. Like we got married. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So
Love that. It's nice to just have
yeah.
that, yeah, time alone, go somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah. We literally
beautiful.
just did nothing. Like I think we arrived at the
Needed it.
yeah, we arrived at the location or at the glamping spot and I literally took a nap. I was so
Mm.
tired.
Oh, beautiful. And yeah, my next kind of question was about if you had any helpful resources while planning, which we've kind of touched on, social media. And then, yeah, where did you kind of get the idea for creating your wedding binder from other people? Or, yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about creating that?
Yeah, so like I like mentioned, like I watched TikToks before with my like planning process, Facebook groups, and I had a wedding planner for like an like I think it's 18 months. It's the Fox and Fellow wedding planner for like the whole period of planning your wedding. But there was just not enough for like I just wanted something for the day itself. So just everyone who's asking me for like if they can help, like I just wanted something for the day itself so the day is stress free. So for me it was just important so I could edit it online. So on Canva, I created on Canva, and then that I could print it and send it to friends and family. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure I have everything in one place. When it comes to the decoration setup on the day, things to take like the bridal list kit, what to take, what to pack, the timeline for on the day, like from the start, like from waking up, kind of just have it all written down, the to dos, like what, who's responsible for what, like who's responsible to, for example, steam the dresses again. And I think it was just good to have this all in one place on the day so the bridesmaids, for example, could just have a look at it and just yeah, I mean they could have also asked me, but I just thought it's just way more relaxing if they don't have to ask me anything. So I just yeah thought I create this so it just makes the day so stress free. And as I said, I'm a type A bride, so I knew I needed this also for peace of mind to just be like, hey, it's in here. So yeah.
That's, yeah, incredible. Such a cool resource that you've created. And I think such a great option as well if some people have a like physical in-person wedding planner or like an on-the-day coordinator. But if you can't afford that or you don't necessarily need it, then just having that binder, everything written down, everything delegated, and like you say, just lifting that responsibility from people coming at you and that like you don't want to be making all these decisions on the day or just like repeating yourself a lot. Just like refer to the binder.
Yeah,
It's like a wedding
100%.
day Bible almost. Yeah,
A hundred
so
percent,
good.
yeah. I see it like it's kind of my lifesaver on the day.
Yeah, excited for people to get their hands on that. And yeah, you have given a lot of amazing advice already, but is there anything else you would say to a couple planning their wedding at the moment?
Yeah, so one thing I realized myself, I was overthinking a lot of things that no one would notice in the end, I would say. In the time from our engagement to our wedding, I was at one wedding, so I feel like once you engage, you take notice of more things. And I realized, I mean, I knew how much work she put into the day, but I also realized as a guest, you don't see all of it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't pay that much attention as the bride pays attention to little details. For example, when I did the DIY flower setup and all my DIYs, I was kind of overthinking a few things. But after some time, I was like, okay, this is too much overthinking. It doesn't have to be perfect, perfect, if you know what I mean. Like, so yeah, I think, yeah, just to really ask yourself, does it really, really matter? I think it's so hard to see that when you're in the planning process because it's everything seems so important. But for example, one thing I remember, I mentioned it earlier, the timeline at the venue, like the timeline from the ceremony onwards with like the photos. I remember when I saw that timeline first, I was really kind of overwhelmed and stressed, and I was worried I wouldn't have enough time for the guests. And I kind of talked to that about that to my photographer, and she was like, oh, honestly, you won't even realize that timeline is happening. It's just for us to
Yeah.
know what's happening and for the catering to know when to prepare the food when there's like speeches in between. And I think I saw that timeline and I was like, oh my gosh, time's gonna fly by and I won't see my guests. But in the end, honestly, it was the best day ever. And it was so good to have that timeline at the venue for the photographer to know when to do what. And I didn't even know what was happening. They just told me, and I was like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. So, yeah, I think my number one tip is to just enjoy the day. And like I said, it was raining like after our ceremony, and I didn't care. Like, I feel like you just don't care because you have all your loved ones with you, like your favorite people, and you just enjoy the moment.
Oh, I love that. Such good advice. Yeah, super helpful having those timelines for your vendors, but you've booked amazing ones. Just trust them. They'll make everything happen and you can just like focus and enjoy it. Yeah, focus on your guests and your family and everything. So good. What is married life like now? Still pretty fresh, but yeah. Do you feel like
Yeah.
you got any of the post-wedding blues after it?
Yes, I was a bit like, what am I doing with my life now? Because, like I said, it
Yeah.
kind of became my
You really
personality.
leaned in. Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, the good thing is we didn't have everything booked for our honeymoon yet, so I kind of could focus on that a little bit. And it's something to look forward to. So I'm actually glad that we had like a little, like some time between wedding and our honeymoon. So something to look forward to. And married life itself, I think not much has changed in the sense of our life. But I think one thing that I try to explain to my friend who doesn't have a boyfriend, or I don't know, it was hard to explain, but of course we already were like a couple before, and like we knew we were gonna, like, even when we were engaged, like, yes, this is forever. But I feel like after being married, like, it's like we are one now. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so beautiful knowing you have your person for life. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Beautiful. Where are you off to on your honeymoon?
We're off to Indonesia, so Bali and some of the islands there. I thought it's all Bali, but then I realized it's Bali is just one part. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a great
I've
part.
never
Yeah.
been. Yeah.
Oh, exciting. It's beautiful. You'll love it. It's nice to get away when it's starting to get a little bit colder here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really excited.
Amazing. It's been so lovely to chat to you today. Is there anything that we missed or you wanted to add as we wrap up?
No, I think I just had a few more points, but I think I already mentioned them. So like to accept help and ask for help, definitely. Yeah, make a task list and hand it out to friends and family that asks if they can help you, and soak up the day before and the day itself 100%, and no more organizing the day before the wedding. So yeah, I think these are my main tips.
Amazing. So good. So much wisdom in there. I know people will get a lot out of this episode and then, yeah, can go dive deep into all your wedding content and grab the binder as well. So cool to have that little discount code as well. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun talking about the wedding day, looking back.
Yay.
Thank
So
you so
good.
much.